You're going to need wall space to put your hands on today, a mat, and then probably a couple of blankets. Now, somatic movement, I'm going to reiterate this today because of what we're doing, and we're yogis who like to find that deep stretch. Somatic movement isn't about stretching, it's more about contracting and relaxing. And we're going to work on calves and hamstrings. Hamstrings 2 different ways today. So it's important to remember you're not going for your deepest possible stretch. You want to feel a little stretch, but what we're really doing is we want to go through the process of slowly contracting and slowly releasing. All right, so we're going to start with calves. This is where you're going to need wall to lean against. And we're going to start with the feet hip width apart, and then you'll take your hands to the wall, and then you're going to find a distance of your feet from the wall where you get a little bit of stretch, all right? But it's not a dog pose stretch, all right? So don't step so far back that you're practically parallel to the floor. All right, I'll give you a minute here to kind of find the distance that you'd like to have. You want to be able to have your heels down. And with those heels down, just feel a light stretch in the back of the calf. All right, and then we're going to contract the calf muscles very slowly. All right, so you're going to rise, come up onto your toes, as tall as you can get on your toes, and contract your calf muscles. And then slowly, I'm going to count down from 8. You're going to lower your heels. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And when those heels make contact, relax completely your calf muscles. All right, and then again, slowly coming up onto your toes as high as you can get. And then you can add some contraction to the calf muscles. Hold that. And then slowly lower. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. When the heels are down, completely relax. You feel a little stretch, but just like a big deep breath out through your calf muscles. All right, once again, coming all the way up onto the toes. Contract those calf muscles. See if you can give yourself a cramp. No, don't go that hard. And then slowly lower. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then the calves are completely down, or the heels are completely down. Relax the calf muscles. All right, and then step in towards the wall so you can give your arms a break. If you were in extension with your wrists, you could do some wrist circles. All right, and then we're going to step back again into that nice, easy calf stretch. This time, the toes will be wide, the heels will be touching. So you'll be like in a dancer's first position. All right, this will get the inner part of the calf muscle a little bit more. And we're going to do the same thing. All right, so lifting up, 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 up onto the toes. Is that a releve, Amanda? Is that what that's called?
Is it?
And then slowly, 8, 7, lower the heels, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, release. Again, up onto the toes. You'll feel it's the big toe down a little more. Maybe you feel the contraction a little more inner edge. And then with a long, slow exhalation, lower. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, release those calf muscles. It's a little harder to relax them with them in like this. Okay, last time, up onto the toes, contract, hold, and lower. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, release. All right, walk forward, your shoulders and your wrists upright. That's the bonus. Get a little shoulder and wrist work. Do you know what's coming? Pigeon toe. Pigeon toe now. So the toes might not completely touch. Being all the way in might feel a little weird, and you might end up stepping on your toes. So they can be a little bit apart. All right, but the heels are wide. Now the tendency with this is we will come up onto the toes, and then you'll want to bring your heels straight back. Make sure you bring your heels wide when you lower. All right? So last time, step back into that comfortable stretch. All right, and you're going to take your toes in. You can have a little gap between them. I've got about an inch, inch and a half. And turn the heels out. So this is going to get that outer edge of the calves a bit. All right, so here we go. Up onto the toes. Contract those calf muscles. All right, now make sure you're taking the heels wide as you exhale. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then when the heels are down, completely release. All right, again, up onto the toes. Track those calf muscles. Slow release, heels wide. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let them completely relax. Just a nice, easy stretch. All right, last one, up on the toes. Tract. Heels wide as you lower. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Breathe. All right, and then walk in. Give your shoulders a swing, your wrists a circle. And then if you need to kind of bend the knees, that's a lot of straight knees. Kind of march and bend the knees a little bit, because we're going to go back to straight legs. All right, now, again, it's not about the deepest stretch possible. I think all of you can touch the floor easily in a forward bend. So that's not what we're trying to do. That's what we're going to do. All right, but we're looking for the contraction. So if you do want support under your hands, you could grab a couple of blankets or a couple of blocks. But just watch me first, what we're going to do. With your feet a comfortable distance apart, maybe 4 or 5 inches apart. All right, we're going to slowly come over into a forward bend. Now I'm just going to put my hands on my shins so I don't overdo it. All right, I feel a nice little hamstring stretch. And then to contract these hamstrings, All right, we're just gonna raise up a little bit. Hands not touching anything, so you have to use the legs. You want to keep that abdomen in, not use your back, use your hamstrings. And then same thing on a count of 8, we're going to release the hamstrings. You may find that you go closer and closer to the floor in the stretch. All right, that's fine, but you're not trying to pull your chest in and get the deepest stretch ever in the hamstrings. It's about the contract and the relax. Okay? So we'll do 3 sets of these because then we're going to do a seated hamstring release. You're probably going to like one better than the other, right? So feet hip width apart. If you need to bend your knees a little bit, that's fine. Just keep feeling something in the hamstrings, all right? So slowly come over into the forward bend you'd like to be in. I'm going to hold my shins, my ankles. If you want to go to the floor, that's fine. All right, so you're going to feel a nice stretch here. This is your relaxed position. This is where the hamstrings are stretching. So if you feel them, if you use your hand, they may feel hard, right? But they're relaxed. So if you need to come up a little bit to actually feel like your hamstring muscles are relaxed, come up a little bit higher on your shin through your support. All right, now, kind of brace in the abdomen. You don't want to do this with your lower back. So pull that navel in and then lift up a little bit, like parallel to the floor. And you're going to feel your hamstrings, right? They're hard and they feel contracted. Now, on a count of 8, we're going to lower back down into that lengthened, relaxed state. So 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then as you touch down, relax those hamstrings. So did you feel it? Right? You kind of have to feel it to believe it, right? All right, so here we go. Brace that abdomen. And then lifting up just parallel to the floor, using your hamstrings to lift yourself up. Right? And then a slow lower. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And when you make contact, release. All right, one more time. Brace the abdomen. Don't lift with your lower back. Think hamstrings, pulling on those hips to extend the hips. Hold. Might feel a little shaking. That's okay. All right, and then 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. So if hamstrings are what hinder you in forward bends, this is going to help that. Right? If it's hips, then it's a different word. But if it's hamstrings, this will help. Now bend your knees. Place your hands onto your thighs. And stand up. Now you could do a whole lot more of those, especially if you prefer the standing hamstring release. You could do like 10 or 12 of those. We're going to do a seated hamstring release now, so I didn't want to overdo that one. You're going to need to be able to slide your foot. I still have my socks on from working out. If you're on hardwoods, you could use a blanket or a washcloth, or if you have socks, you could grab a sock. So a couple of things. If seated forward bends tend to be a bit not your jam, you're a little stiff in seated forward bends, you can put support under your sit bones. You can lift the sit bones up. All right. If you're fine sitting on the floor, you can just sit down on the floor. We're gonna just do one leg at a time. So if you are like me and one knee is challenged in being straight, you could put a blanket behind that knee just to support that leg, just kind of take it out of the equation. But if you're fine with it being flat on the floor, go for it. All right, so again, we're not going for a maximum stretch, right? We just want to feel the hamstring, that contraction in the hamstring release. You may get to a full stretch, and that's fine. All right, so we're going to bend up your right leg. And then interlace your fingers up underneath that foot. So if you need to come to the inside, you can, but it's best if you're on the outside. You can't quite interlace the fingers, just hold the foot. All right, this is the contracted state of the hamstring. All right, so before we were doing the hamstring contraction from the hip, now we're going to be doing it a little bit more from the, we're adding the knee into the equation here. All right, so we're just going to push that foot. So you've got a blanket under the heel if you need it to slide. All right, so we're just going to push that foot forward. And don't go too far initially. I got to bring it in my hip flexor. All right, now we're going to pull that foot back and contract the hamstring. All right, so the action of pulling it back contracts it, but you can also squeeze that hamstring and hold. And then count of 8, you're going to slide that foot back out. All right, so 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then just let it relax. It doesn't necessarily have to be straight. Right? And pulling that foot back in, slowly contracting that hamstring muscle. Right? And then pushing that foot back out. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then it's just like an exhalation through the hamstring. Let it relax. It may still feel hard, but let it relax. Right, and then slide that heel back in. Track that hamstring. So if you try to push your foot forward while you're holding with your hands, feel that traction. Right, and then slowly, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And exhalation, completely relax. All right, and we'll do one more on this side. So again, sliding that heel back, tracting that hamstring. And try to push your foot forward while you're pulling back with your hands. And then slowly, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, relax. Place your hands down onto the floor. Slowly lift up. Let's do just a little twist to the right, twist to the left. And then we'll do that on the other side. So if you want to put a blanket, you use that, you liked it, you can put a blanket on the other side, you may. Right, so we're bending the left leg now. Pulling on the foot, kind of trying to push forward and contracting that hamstring. Right, and then a slow press forward. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Just release. Even if the knee is bent, that's fine. You just want to relax the hamstring. Couple of deep breaths and really breathe out through the hamstring. And then slide that foot back in. And contracting that hamstring. So try to push forward with your foot as you pull back with your hands. Traction in that hamstring. Okay, and then a slow press forward. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. Breathing out through the hamstring. Okay, bending the knee. Contracting the hamstring. Hold that contraction for a bit. Okay, and then a slow press forward. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Okay, you have a nose on the back of your hamstring and you're breathing out. Yeah, that's where my cramps come in too. It's not the hamstring. Right there. All right, last one. Pull that foot back in. Push with the hand or foot into the hands as you pull back. Tract, tract, tract. All right, and then a slow release. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. And then place your hands down onto the floor. Walk your hands back. Little twist to the right. Little twist to the left. And then if you still have your mat up against the wall, you can pull it a little ways from the wall. We'll do a little pelvic tilt for the back. And a little Shavasana. So if you want a blanket behind your head, grab it. If you want more padding underneath, you grab it. Just out of curiosity, show of hands, if you like the standing release better. Yeah. And if you like the seated release better, if you like seated release better. Okay. Split. I like to see it. Could be because when I bend this knee, my hamstring doesn't know what to do yet. It's not awake yet. All right. Laying down on your back, tuck your shoulder blades, lengthen that lower back. Keep your knees bent, your feet on the floor, and you can just have them a comfortable distance apart, whatever that width is, whatever the distance from your buttocks is that's comfortable for you. And let's turn the palms down towards the floor, just a comfortable distance away from you. They don't have to be right in against your hips, maybe at the edge of the mat or slightly off. All right, so now just lift. We're going to inhale and lift the navel towards the ceiling. So you're rolling the top of the pelvis forward. Tailbone is down, navel is up. Extension of the lower back. And then with an exhalation, releasing those lower back muscles to bring you back to flat-ish. You're not pushing anything down. You're letting the muscles release. Okay, and then on an exhalation, do the opposite. Lift the tailbone, pull the navel down. Posterior tilt. Now it's the abdominal muscles contracting. Don't hold your breath, but hold the contraction. And then with an exhalation, to return to normal, relax your abdominal muscles. Don't think move the pelvis, just think relax the abdominal muscles. You might have felt the glutes get involved, relax those. So it may not be returning to exactly the same starting point, that's fine. All right, inhale, navel up, tailbone down. Lower back muscles are contracting. Hold the contraction, but breathe, don't hold your breath. And then you're gonna let those lower back muscles release to return back to the starting point-ish. Just rest in that relaxed position. And then on an exhalation, navel down, tailbone up. Contracting the abdominal muscles. And then on an exhalation, releasing those muscles to lower the tailbone. Little breath there in the relaxed state. I'll do one more. Inhale, tailbone down, navel lifting. Feel the lower back muscles contracting. And then release those muscles. To lower back down. Okay, and then on an exhalation, navel down, tailbone up. Abdominal muscles contract. Hold that contraction. And then with an exhalation, releasing those abdominal muscles. Muscles release. Just rest in that relaxed position for a moment. All right, and then bring your knees up towards your chest. They can be wide, they don't have to be together. Pull the shin bones towards your head as you relax that lower back down. Just find that length in the lower back. Slowly bring your feet back down onto the mat. And then have a little shavasana. You can straighten your legs. You can keep the knees bent. Just here for a minute. You decide you need more energy, focus on the inhalation. You need to release some more stress, focus on your exhalation. You need a little bit of both, deep inhale, deep exhale. Just say long, slow exhale. Right, and slowly bending your elbows, let your palms rest on your torso. Bend your knees, soles of the feet on the floor. Then you'll roll to your side that's most comfortable or convenient. Doesn't have to be facing your camera. Fasten your arms to sit up. And for a moment, keep your head low, your eyes closed. Thank yourself for coming to class, continuing your practice. Then slowly raise your head. Slowly. Have a very lovely afternoon.